What's up, Mecha fans, and welcome back to the channel. So, a couple of weeks ago, I came across a video on my YouTube recommended, which was asking the question of which anime characters would be included in a Lego custom minifigure wave. And after seeing that video, I haven't actually watched it yet, but I have seen it recommended to me. I thought, that's not a bad idea. What if we took that concept, this idea of saying, like, okay, what characters from this franchise or this specific subgenre or whatever it may be would be included in a Lego custom minifigure wave, and I thought, let's apply that to Gundam. So today, we're going to be talking about which mobile suits from the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise I think would be included in a 12-figure Lego custom minifigure wave. Before I dive into it though, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe if you are a fan of Mecha anime content and want to see plenty more videos like this in the future. Also, head on down to the comments section below. Let me know your thoughts on this question. Out of the 12 slots that you've got available, what mobile suits would you put in there? Whether it's personal preference ones, whether it's ones that you think Lego would do themselves based on like more popularity type of stuff, just let me know all that down in the comments section below. We'll kick things off with some Universal Century stuff. Of course, the main timeline of Gundam, and naturally, a lot of the more popular stuff and more recognizable stuff comes from this particular timeline. First up, of course, we have to have the original RX-78-2, the face of the franchise. If they're going to do a Lego custom minifigure wave of mobile suits, without question, this one would be included. This is the one where, like, I have no doubt in my mind that this would be in here. There's like 2 or 3, or maybe about 4 that I would say pretty comfortably would be included in this wave, and of course the original Gundam would be number 1 spot. It would be the one that would obviously they would pick right off the bat. Next up though, I've got Shaz Zaku 2. Now I went back and forth on this one. Do I do Shaz Zaku 2 or do I do the standard Zaku 2? And ultimately I came down to doing Shaz. Now, would Lego do the standard one? I'm not 100% sure, but essentially this could be like, switched out depending on the day. It could be Shah's one, it could be the standard one, but I think you have to have a Zaku 2 in here because it's, the most iconic grunt suit in the franchise. It's kind of the villainous face, if you will, of the Gundam franchise. So evidently, if you're going to include the RX-78-2, you've got to include a Zaku 2 of some point, of some kind, and Shah's Zaku 2, you get that nice face off between them. So I think that they would go with Shah's version, but again, they could go with the standard version as well. And continuing on that train of the Amuro-Shah rivalry, we have the new Gundam from Shah's Counterattack. This, again, is one of those kind of faces of the franchise. This is one where I'm not 100% sure whether they would include it, just because we've already got, an Amuro mobile suit, and they do kind of look a little bit similar. You take away the fin funnel stuff from the new Gundam, and it's not too dissimilar to the RX-78-2 in the grand scheme of Gundam designs. So this is one where I'm not 100% sure whether they would go for it, but it also is a very iconic suit. It's my personal favorite mobile suit within the entire Gundam franchise, and there's a lot of other people who really love it as well. And of course, again, it is a very iconic mobile suit. And on that same line of thinking, we've got the Sazabi. Now, this is one where I'm unsure whether they would put it in. I think that if they put the new Gundam in, they would maybe also put the Sazabi. I've tried to, a lot of the stuff here, I've tried to kind of keep a bit of variety. I could have just gone with like all of the mainline kind of protagonist Gundams, but then it would get very samey. So I've tried to put, some variety in here. So I think having the Sazabi, which is, kind of Universal Century, like Xeon, typical mobile suit design, but at the same time, like it's not. So I feel like you have the new Gundam, you have the Sazabi. It kind of makes sense to put both of those there. Moving on though, here we have our last proper Universal Century mobile suit, and that is the Unicorn Gundam. There's an element of like recent Gundam fan bias there where a lot of people really love the Unicorn. It's a very popular mobile suit. I mean, it has a statue of it. I would say it's a bit more beloved in the public eye, a bit more iconic in the public eye than say the Zeta, the Double Zeta, or any of the other ones. Moving on from Universal Century, we've got some After Colony stuff. That's right, Gundam Wing. Of course, it's the 30th anniversary of it this year, but this is like, one of the most beloved and iconic Gundam series. And there's a lot of mobile suits in here that not only I think are fantastic in design, but are also really iconic as well. Starting out with the Wing Gundam Zero Endless Waltz. I went back and forth between the Endless Waltz version and the TV version of the Wing Gundam Zero, because I feel like it's more of an iconic design than the actual Wing Gundam itself. The reason I went for the Endless Waltz one is because whenever Gundam Wing is advertised, they tend to lean more into Endless Waltz. Even with this 30th anniversary Gundam Wing stuff that's going around, they're still using the Endless Waltz version of the Wing Gundam Zero, which not only is a personal favourite mobile suit design of mine, but also it's probably more iconic. It's also got a bit more to it. I feel like it's more of an exciting design with, the feathers and things like that. So I think this is one that not only would be like a cool idea to have as a minifigure, but also it's probably the more iconic one as well. And for the other wingsuit I've included here, we've got the Gundam Death Scythe Hell Endless Waltz version once again. I went back and forth between, do I do the Epion, do I do the Death Scythe, and then when I ultimately came down to the Death Scythe, which version do I do? Do I do the standard Death Scythe, the TV Death Scythe Hell, or do I do the Endless Waltz version? And again, I feel like this is the more iconic one, and it's the one that is more, largely advertised. I also think that the design of it lends itself quite nicely to being able to do custom minifigure of it, because like the wings, they can easily be one of those things that like slot in and just like plastic on the back. So I just felt like it would work a lot better as a minifigure. It's got less complexity to it than say the actual Death Scythe Hell from the TV version, because if you're going to do that, you have to do the armor, and how does that work with a minifigure? It's probably easier just to go with the Endless Waltz version of the Death Scythe Hell. Really cool, and I think because of the other mobile suits that we've got in here, I feel like it adds a little bit more variety, because most of these are, they're either the Xeon Red kind of colors or the typical red, white, and blue Gundam colors. So, doing like the Death Scythe Hell, which is like black, like it adds a bit of variety to our lineup. Now let's move on to the Cosmic era. This is Gundam Seed, and I did consider putting 3 in here, but I have cut it down to 2. First up though, we've got the Freedom Gundam. Now, I believe this is the most beloved Gundam mobile suit in Japan. They did like a poll like either last year or the year before, and I think the Freedom Gundam came out on top as like the most popular. So of course, it has to be included in here. It does have a statue in Shanghai as well, so again, if it's got a statue of itself, then it's beyond iconic, and it definitely is deserving of a place in here in terms of like the popularity and how much people would want it, how much it would sell, all that kind of stuff. And the Freedom Gundam, it's a great design. Like, I personally really like it. A lot of people do like it as well, so absolutely, if you're talking about Gundam mobile suits to be included, the Freedom Gundam absolutely deserves a place. On the same line of Cosmic Era, we've got the Justice Gundam, which again, I feel like is a very iconic design as well. I wanted to get like a couple of things of the Cosmic Era in here, because again, like it's a very popular series of Gundam, like Seed. It's debatable, like Seed or Wing, what's the more popular one? And I don't really know, but I think that Seed is evidently very popular, hence why Freedom made a butt ton of money at the box office. Justice, Freedom, I feel like you kind of have to have both in there. And also, again, with the Justice, adds a little bit of variety. So we're not just doing the typical red, white, and blue. Instead, we're doing largely red. Moving now into the last 3, these are the ones that I consider to be the more recency bias, the ones that would sell to the more modern Gundam fans. Starting out with the Gundam Barbatos. I know that Iron Blooded Orphans, in some places, not the most popular Gundam series, but it does also have its fans. And to a degree, I think it is quite popular. It's almost like the fans of Iron Blooded Orphans are starting to come out of the woodwork properly. They've done a 10th anniversary for this thing, which, they wouldn't usually do for a 10th anniversary or something. I mean, hell, Unicorn's 10th anniversary is this year, and they haven't done any sort of celebration on that. But they are doing 10th anniversary celebration for Iron Blooded Orphans, so evidently it does have its fans. It is a lot more popular than some people might believe it to be. Next up, we've got the Gundam Aerial from The Witch from Mercury. Self-explanatory, this thing's incredibly popular. Witch from Mercury was incredibly popular, so you throw this on that custom minifigure list, if you're going to have like the 3 ones at the center, you'd probably have the RX-78-2, the Aerial, and then the Freedom as being like the centerpiece of trying to advertise this custom minifigure wave. And I think the Aerial definitely deserves that. It's a design I really like, but evidently it was very, very popular as well. I think, again, the Aerial absolutely belongs on this list. I mean, it's been used in like the Call of Duty collaboration. It's something that's just been used in a lot of marketing from Bandai for the Gundam franchise. So if they were going to do a custom minifigure wave for Lego, I definitely think the Aerial would be on there. And then last but not least, we have the G-Quux. Self-explanatory kind of one. It's the most recent protagonist Gundam. It's at the forefront of everyone's minds at the moment. So if they were to make a custom minifigure wave, this one would definitely be on there. Also, it does have a unique look to it as well, so I just feel like it lends itself to just, adding a bit of variety to that wave, so it's not all the same kind of stuff. This one, in terms of protagonist Gundam designs, in terms of Gundam designs in general, is obviously very unique. So I'd be very open to them doing this and having this suit. It's the most recent one. They're going to put it in because they're using it largely in marketing and advertising at the moment. If they're going to do a custom minifigure wave, they're going to put the most recent and pretty popular mobile suit in there. But those were my picks for the mobile suits that would be included in a LEGO custom minifigure wave. To go over them, once again, we've got the Arik 78-2, Shaz Zaku 2, the New Gundam, the Sazabi, the Unicorn Gundam, Wing Gundam Zero Endless Waltz, Gundam Death Scythe Hell Endless Waltz, Freedom Gundam, Justice Gundam, Gundam Barbatos, Gundam Aerial, and G-Quarks. Before I get out of here, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're a fan of mecha anime content and want to see plenty more videos like this in the future. Also, like I said earlier, head on down to the comments section below. Let me know what minifigures you would include or what mobile suits you would include within this LEGO custom minifigure wave. Also, I do have a list, in fact, for a LEGO custom minifigure wave for Gundam characters. So not mobile suits, but human characters. So if you would like to see that video, then let me know. Thank you once again for tuning into Mecha Chat today, and I'll see you guys next time.